Hey, welcome to Rusty Judgment. I think there was a misunderstanding with some of the things I said in my last couple videos and some of the things that everyone seemed to have had opinions on. We're gonna answer those questions coming up next. This is going on Rusty Judgment.
Yeah.
I'm the boss here, Dawn.
All right, let's go.
No, I say, okay, let's go. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through a bunch of questions and give you all answers. This question says, wow, what an adventure. You are amazing. I can't believe the guy. Let's just have Dawn read. Here, Dawn, you wanna read those?
So Linda says, wow, what an adventure. You are amazing. I can't believe that the guy fixing your car didn't offer to loan you a car or drive you to the hotel or give you a room or sofa for the night. Those of us that live on a farm country are used to better hospitality.
Right? See, it's us country folk. We stick together. He lived in town. So let me explain. So Jim is not a professional mechanic. I think we all figured that out. The Excursion broke down in Florida. We had it towed to a professional mechanic who had done diesels, and they scanned the Excursion and said, your motor's blown up, you need a new engine, that's all she wrote. And I was like, this was over a phone call after we had left. I said, can you explain to me, like, how did you get there? Like, explain the diagnostic process you went through to tell me I have a blown engine. And he's like, oh, I've done these things enough to know that the codes I'm getting on the scan, you broke something internally and it's junk. She died on us on the freeway.
For those of us who don't know, what would a new engine for that truck cost?
$15,000. Between 10 and 15,000.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So diesel engines are outrageously expensive.
Okay.
If you didn't know that either, don't buy a diesel. They're maintenance and purchase outrageously expensive. Mm-hmm. I asked him a bunch of steps. I was like, hey, have you checked this? Have you checked this? He's like, nope, nope, nope. I don't need to. I know what I'm doing. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to ship it out of there because I don't trust you. And so then I spent a day, you could attest to this, I spent a day plus calling places, getting opinions. I called my local mechanic here who is awesome. He agreed with my diagnosis. I called Powerstoke Specialties out of Georgia. They have a YouTube channel and they kind of specialize in all Powerstroke, and hence their name, Powerstoke Specialties. They agreed with my diagnosis. They said, hey, if you get it to us, we can fix it.
And what was your diagnosis?
My diagnosis, so what I told them over the phone, I said, did you check the injectors? Because to me, what it sounded and felt like is an injector went out and won't let it start. And he was like, that's not possible. That's not what the symptoms are showing. And I was like, dude, but did you even check? And he's like, I don't need to. I'm not wasting my time on this. You need an engine. I know that. Yep. So that's why I just was done with him. And
so we're stuck in Florida.
Yep.
And even that guy he was supposed to have it diagnosed on Friday. He let it sit through the weekend. Yep. So now it's Monday and we're having to head back home.
Yeah.
So Tom's scrambling to find someone that can fix it.
Yeah. So then the Powerstoke Specialties, they could do it, but he was like, it's gonna be a while. And so then I looked up costs to ship it and it was like several thousand to get it from South Florida to North Georgia. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll just put that idea on the side. So I get on Marketplace and I'm like, okay, let's just pretend that I need an engine. Like, worst case, let's pretend I need an engine. I found rebuilt 6.0 diesel engines for sale on the west side of Florida in Fort Myers area. And so I thought, hey, I'm gonna contact this guy. So I contacted him and then I started talking with Jim. This was Jim. I talked with him on the phone a few times and he's like, okay, well, here's how much a motor would run. This is installed price. And I'm like, okay, that's not terrible. And he's like, well, let me ask you, why do you think you have a bad engine? And I'm like, well, these guys tell me I do this. And then I tell him the symptoms. And he tells me, he's like, I don't think your motor's blown. And I was like, thank you. I don't think my motor was blown either. Yeah. So Jim and I talked a lot. And he's like, if you want to send it over here, he's like, I can look at it. And so I was like, you know what, sir that I have never met before, only have a phone number and a voice on a phone, I will ship you my vehicle.
Yeah.
So then we had a tow truck ship the Excursion from Cape Coral, Florida, to Fort Myers. By this time, we're out of Florida. We're like headed north out of Florida. And so Jim had the Excursion for 2 days, and he sends me a video of it running.
That was funny.
He's like, we're literally like packing up the camper at our last site, and I get a text, and I'm like, what is this? And I play it. I'm like, oh man, I knew I sent it to the right guy.
Yeah. So back to Linda's question. She said, why didn't he offer you a rental car, a place to sleep, any kind of hospitality though? When you got down there, things didn't go, the timeline didn't go as planned. He needed a little longer to work on it.
Right. So what happened was I got down to his place after the flight and everything, probably around noon. We went from his place over to where the Excursion was at. We went and took it for a test drive, and it broke down a few miles into the test drive. It broke down, and that's where you see me videoing with it busted in a parking lot. We sat in that parking lot for almost 4 hours waiting for a tow truck to show up. And so then when I come back and I'm filming me talking on the street with the Excursion on flatbed saying that I hadn't eaten or drank all day, that was because I got up at 3:30, we did the flight. You and I did the flight, and then the whole Jim and I were both stuck all day. We were just at the mercy of the tow service. So I don't blame him for that at all, because and then he actually did tell me that I could stay at his house. Like, you can stay here, we have an extra room if you want. And I was just like, you know what, I just need to like detach myself from this situation, go somewhere else. My thoughts thinking I'm gonna go to like a nice hotel and take a shower and just like go to sleep. So he did offer.
And he had a friend drive you to that first hotel, drop you off not knowing it would be booked. So that's then why you ended up walking to the next motel.
I didn't want to bother Jim because I told him, I said, you stay here and work on the Excursion that evening, and I'll just take care of myself. You just get the Excursion fixed, because I just wanted to get out of there. And he's like, okay. So I wasn't about to call him or bother him, because I'm thinking,
let him work.
If I don't say nothing, he's just going to be working on the Excursion, so in the morning I can leave.
But he did feel bad about the whole situation and everything. So
yeah, no, he did.
He was very apologetic all along this whole process.
Yeah.
Donna says, why did you not take it to a dealer? So confused.
I don't know if what percentage of you guys take things to dealers. That's like, so on a rank on a scale from expense to cheapest. So Jim, right, Facebook, find cheapest fix.
Yeah.
Repair shop is middle range. Dealership is like the most expensive repair. And so going to a dealer with a newer vehicle, sure. But going to a dealer with a 15-year-old vehicle, no. Like, it would have cost more than the Excursion is worth to fix it at a dealership. And honestly, I don't think that a Ford dealer is gonna know enough about a 6.0 Powerstroke than somebody who only does 6.0 Powerstrokes. And
if you recall, earlier in the trip, the first breakdown we had, you did bring that to, it wasn't a dealer, but you did bring it to professional. He kept his timeline. He did great work. That all went smoothly. And if where we were, we could have found a shop that would have done it all again. That would have been the case, but they were either all booked out or said, we don't work on 6.0s.
Yeah, that was a lot of them said we don't touch 6.0s. I kept joking, oh, if you guys do, you'd be rich. That, or like, so Dawn said that one shop looked at it on a Friday. We didn't hear back until Monday. Well, then I call around and like, we were like, so you're on a trip, so you're trying to like get it done and get it out. And everyone's like, dude, we got like 1-2 weeks minimum. And so that's where we're like, okay, the timeline when we were in Florida is what kind of made us go towards Jim, which I still don't regret going with him.
Josh says, Jim's shop is at his house. That would be a red flag.
Right. Facebook find. Like, he's not a professional. He builds 6.0 Powerstrokes. He buys them and parts them out, which was why I kept joking that the Excursion was gonna get parted out, like that I'd never see it in, because that's what he does.
And so really when you got back down there, so he had fixed it, and then Tom had asked him like, what else could we do to make this a reliable vehicle? And that's when he said, it has oversized injectors, let's swap them out for stock. And it really just ended up being a fluky thing that when you got back down there, that one of them or two of them had not been working, and so...
Right, and then I was questioning, while I was down there, I was questioning what brand injectors he was putting in. I'm like, man, is this guy putting in like some super cheap ones? And that's why we're having problems. And then I looked up, I had all the receipts from the oversized injectors that were in it when I bought it, and they were the exact manufacturer. So I'm like, okay, well, he's not putting in junk injectors. So yeah, I think it was just a fluky thing.
Yeah, and he was scrambling then to get it done so you could get back out of town. And
then the other thing, so he ended up pulling every single injector out that night, and he did every injector himself because he got busy. So he fixed it for me, and then I said, hey, don't worry about it. You got like a month. Like, just get the rest of it done in like the next month, and then I'll come back down. Well, he just put it on the back burner then. And then when I called him before I came down, I was like, hey, I'm gonna be down in a week and a half. I need the Excursion done then. Because I was trying to push him to get a deadline because he was kind of pushing me off then. And so then he was already busy at that time with other things, so he pushed it to a buddy's shop of his who did the injectors. And so then when we started having injector problems, that night, he took every injector out of the whole truck and he redid them all himself, re-put them in, because he was like, I just want to make sure it's all right.
So then there was like these comments. One, Tom, the Excursion is a lemon, sorry to say. And then the other, I think you need to keep the Excursion. It looks so good, and like you said, you've probably fixed all the issues. And so now here we are trying to decide, is it something we're just gonna keep having problems with, or did we get everything worked out now? We put so much money into it, let's just keep it and use it.
Yeah, so I don't know that I've said this either. The Excursion has 364,000 miles on it. At that mileage, any vehicle would be garbage, so.
Yeah, so are we gonna keep it or get rid of it?
Yeah, that is the tough thing. We have a fortune, a small fortune invested into that vehicle. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I don't know. Just when I think like sell it, then you ran into a guy just last night and he's like, man, if I could find a 6.0 Excursion.
And I did not have the Excursion then.
No.
I was driving a different vehicle.
Yeah, they're so rare, but they're just so hard to find. They don't make them anymore.
So can I tell you something?
Yeah.
So I have thought, so it's beautiful. The Excursion to me is a beautiful vehicle. And I see it in our driveway and I think, man, that would be tough to get rid of that thing. It looks so awesome and it works so well when it works. Mm-hmm. And then I went to start it this morning. It won't start.
Yeah. Well.
No, I'm dead serious. It will not start.
Needless to say, you did get back home then. You were pulling Gage's Bronco, which also elicited some comments like, so unfair, your daughters are older, where are their trucks?
I know, right? Life is just unfair. That is what we're trying to teach our kids. The girls don't want trucks. The boys, so Corbin has the Beast. The Beast is Corbin's truck. That used to be Dawn's dad's truck. I bought that truck from them like 6-7 years ago.
I don't even know how we came up with it that it was Corbin's. I think it was just started as a joke and then...
No, he asked if he could have it.
Oh, okay. Oh, so apparently in our house you just have to ask for a vehicle and you
No, well, like he was like 4. He was like 4 years old. And I had started redoing it and then just put it in the corner of the shed, as I kind of do. Yeah. And he had asked a bunch if he could have it. Like, he's like, oh, I want that to be my truck. And we're like, okay, fine. We don't care.
Yeah.
So then it turned into his truck. And then all of a sudden, Gage is like, well, I want a truck. And so you can't figure it out.
Yeah.
The girls don't want trucks. We have had these conversations with the girls. Adeline wants like a responsible crossover or something or another. And I don't know, Maggie, maybe we'll put Maggie in a Prius because she might be a little dangerous in anything else.
And let's face it, these trucks that we're buying for the boys, or we're kind of like saying they're theirs, they're all under like $2,000. Like they're inexpensive vehicles. What the girls would want would be like much more expensive.
Yeah, no.
So we've talked about like, okay, we'll pay half of it or whatever. So we do have these conversations, and you don't see the girls in videos out by the vehicles because they don't want to be on video, but they're interested in learning about it too. They come and go when Tom's working on stuff.
Yeah.
And even growing up on a farm, my dad was always like an equal opportunity employer.
Right.
He did not see gender. Girls can drive tractors. He would Diana drove the loader sometimes, and he would put us in the backhoe and let us play with it. And so I was raised that way. I don't know how it was at your house growing up, but we are raising our kids that same way. But it's sometimes, I can see how it comes across in the videos, but we're keeping it pretty equal.
No, so Adeline's driven more things than anybody because obviously she's the oldest. Obviously also on our own property with our adult supervision, you know, with the rusty judgment.
I don't know. We'll keep you posted on what we decide to do with the Excursion. I don't know.
It's like a love-hate relationship.
It is that love that you know is bad for you, but you just keep coming back to.
I really... Yeah. If we could trade it for a
younger
something, I don't
less
know
miles.
what.
I don't know. I think we just need to take it on some local trips this summer and see if it can rebuild trust with us.
It won't start right now, Dawn, so it ain't going anywhere.
Well, we can't sell it like that either. So either way, we got to.
I know. See, this is how it happens. We got a shed moving coming up. Check out for that on Friday.
Yep.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. Bye bye.